to this computer. Hi Julia, how are you today?
Hi, Karen. Yeah, yes, not bad. It's very wet and windy outside, but
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And
it's Friday, so that's always good.
it's Friday,
Yeah.
and we're battling off a
So,
cough and a sneeze and a little blockage in the
uh,
ear. Yeah.
so that leads us into very nicely into something that keeps cropping up, and it's what is the immune system? What is the lymphatic system? More to the point. And so I don't know. I had my jab the other day. I went, and was said, it may be just a possibility. A few of your lymph nodes might come up. Now, lots of people will think, well, what are my lymph nodes? So, so, so exactly. So, what we most people understand are their glands, and when you get a sore throat and you get those lumps in your, or you're just get running a bit run down, and you just feel as though the glands in your throat are coming up, those are your lymph nodes under the armpits. Yeah, yeah. So we have loads of lymphatics actually up in this upper body area and under armpits. So if you're going down with a cold, a chest infection, even just a bit run down, and it's focusing here, then those lymphatic nodes, the glands across the clavicle here, the neck, and the armpits are quite likely to feel a bit tender or sore, yeah, up and down the sides there. So, and that's the first sign often, is that sort of, oh, I feel a bit achy, I feel a bit tender. And that's often the first sign that we're going down with something or feeling a little bit under the weather. Get an upset tummy, or you've had, had a few problems with legs, and then of course the groin area, yeah, the inguinal glands, as they're called, the groin glands, they might be a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit swollen, but also the deep tummy ones as well. So our lymph system is all about our immunity, our immune system. And that's so important these days, everything around the COVID and everything else. Our immune system is at the root of all this, and how strong it is, and can it fight infection, and can it do this, and can it do that. And our immune system is managed really by our lymphatic system, which is co-hosted with our circulatory system. It's all about the fluid in our body and it moving around and doing different jobs in different places. And it's really quite fascinating, isn't it?
It is. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So,
And it's so easy to move your lymph system. You haven't got to
exactly. So
go
what
for a
you might have
massage.
caught on by now is that when we do the tripudio flow, the flow sequence particularly is all about enhancing our lymph system. It's about moving the lymph around so that where there might be blockages, where things might not be functioning as well as we'd like them to, then the lymph moves well. So this is great, not only for people who have problems, lymphedema or other problems that affect their lymphatic system, or post-surgery, or chronic illness and so on, but actually every day we all need to keep our lymph system good and healthy. And something I've discovered is lots of people don't realize that it runs through our entire body. It's not just the lymph nodes, and we've got plenty of those, over 700.
Woo.
We've got lots of lymph nodes, but they're not, you haven't got 30 in your armpit. One person might have a dozen and somebody else has got 28. It's sort of this, it's fairly random on how many you've got and where you've got them. So but they're all interconnected by lymphatic vessels, and I always think of it like seaweed, when it all sort of stands out.
A big mesh of seaweed all over.
Yeah. But our our lymphatic system runs alongside the circulatory system. So it's as complex and as much of it as there is with that. But it doesn't have the heart to go pump, pump, pump and move it around. It requires us to move. So when we move our lymph. And if we've got, if we want to move if I'm doing lymphatic, if we're just an ordinary lymphatic massage, or people want to do self-massage, it's a really light stroking movement, just barely moving, wrinkling the skin. And we can move our lymph so easily. And that's why when we exercise for the lymphatic system, it wants to have a slow smoothness, so it follows what goes on inside our body as we're doing it. We often, you'll see quite when you're doing our little excerpts and things, we extend the wrist, so you've got that flexed hand. And just by doing that, we get this ripple through the muscles, and moving the muscle moves the lymph. So it doesn't require a huge amount of effort to get our lymph moving, but it's also good about how we move it and what order we move it, so that we clear an area and it can be refilled, so to speak. So I've got a little chart here, which I think is wonderful, which is put together by Solaris, one of the lymphedema companies that provide compression garments and things like that. But they put this fabulous chart together a few years ago. And I'm just going to bring it up close and just show you.
We're not shown in porno. This is just where the lymph stuff is.
Yeah. And the back of the body. So you might see in the arm there, I hope you can see, there are lots, at least three arm pathways, lymphatic pathways, and the dark areas across the back are where we can move lymph across. It's sort of like a gateway across the body. And at the front of the body, again, you can see probably across here, we've got our deep lymphatics down here. So when we do our deep breathing, this is helping. We like things like pump and release, and it's helping this deep lymph to move up. We got a reservoir here. It's called the cisterna chyli, and it's deep. It's just in front of the lumbar vertebrae and on the spine. And that fluid needs to keep moving. It doesn't want to stagnate. So we want that fluid moving up, and then as the fluid goes through the lymphatic system, it cleanses it. The lymph nodes are there to fight infection, so that the lymphatic fluid is cleaned and cleansed as it goes round before it rejoins the blood supply again. So it's good to go to get oxygen and fresh blood moving around the body.
It moves it all around.
Yeah, exactly.
Our liver and our kidneys to just flush it all out again, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the
one.
Am I
right in saying we have some around the lungs as well?
We do.
That's why we breathe a lot with the
lymph vessels. Actually, in the whole of our body, rather like fascia is, it's not just in isolated places, it's everywhere. And if we look at a picture of the lungs, you'll see lymph vessels all the way through those. So not only when we're breathing are we breathing in oxygen and expelling our carbon dioxide, but we're also working, the lungs are working those lymph nodes and vessels that are sitting in our lungs as well. So movement and good breathing is just so really important to everyday well-being, and that's sort of a little message I thought would be good for this week. And the weather's cold, people are going down with the odd colds and flu. Many of us are having our COVID injections, which it's a little attack on our immune system, but it's designed to trigger it, to make it work hard, to work. So if people have had some negative responses, maybe got a little side effects, it's not a bad thing. It just means their immune system's just kicked into action, and it's working. And that's actually what they want it to do, is for your immune system to work, and to sort of embrace the new virus and work again, work to contain it. So, I think as things are at the moment, I think we've all should be really mindful of our lymph system and take good care of it. And we can do that by taking, we can do it by what we put in our bodies, good food, vitamins, take, supplements, whatever we like. But actually, we also, if we move our body as well, that also helps. Yeah. I think we did one. We did a week, didn't we? We did a nice. We did a nice. So have a look back through some of our videos, because you'll find we did some nice sessions, I think, on a little bit of lymph drainage and things, self massage with the face, and so on. So I think we just need to finish with a breath of joy.
Yeah.
And next week, it's just before Lymphedema Awareness Week. So I think we'll do some exercises next week to help our lymph system for those with and without lymphedema, and acknowledge what an awful thing it is for people to have to suffer, and how we can help just really make life a lot easier, or more comfortable, more to the point. Okay. So
let's join in
should
together with me.
Yes, you can. Yeah, I'll do it sitting here, and you can do it standing there, and you just see a picture of me, all of you. So
up we get. Ready? Here we go. Okay, breathe in through the nose. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Let them relax slowly, and breathe out through your mouth. There we go. Let's do another one. There we go. And just turn your hands over. Lead. How lovely is that feeling? There we go. One more, because it's tripudia. And there we go. Lovely. Well done, everybody.
Thank you, Karen. That was lovely.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Well, have a good weekend, everybody. See you soon.